here. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I am doing a get ready with me. This is the look. I am playing with the Hella palette from Odin's Eye and Angelica Nyquist for the very first time. I'm going to talk about why. I just did my inhaler, so I'm a little, and I talk about that also in this video. So if you want to see how I got this look, kind of hear what's been going on since I've been gone and everything, then just keep watching. If you're new here, hi, I'm Misty. It's nice to meet you. I've been dealing with COVID for the last 18 days. And my asthma that I haven't dealt with since 2016 came back. So I've felt like I have COVID, basically, is what it boils down to. And if you haven't had it, I hope you don't get it. It's not fun. It's not fun. So anyway, I'm going to do some talking, talk to you about what's going on, how Rob's doing, how I'm doing, all of the things, and then using this Hella palette for the first time. So if you're interested in that, I'll just keep on watching. Hey friends, it's Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. I'm doing a get ready with me because I'm alive. And I thought I would talk about what's been going on in my life. So I'm going to do that. We're going to be trying some new to me makeup. I'm going to try the new it's not new, the Hella palette from Odin's Eye. This was a collaboration with Angelica Nyquist last year, I want to say. And I didn't pick it up when it first came out. I picked it up off Mercari. As you can see, it's brand new, still has the plastic attached. I have fallen in love with their newest release, all the influencer collab palettes, and I am trying to decide if I'm going to purchase them when they restock on the 25th of March for my birthday. So I want to try this Hella palette to see if I like the quality, because if you remember, if you've been with me, last year I got the Odin's Eye Easter mystery box and hated all of it. Like, hated all of it. And I don't own anything except for the the lipsticks, and I only kept those because I swatched them. So those may end up gone as well. So I had COVID, if you missed it. I filmed, I want to say it was on the 28th. I filmed like, I don't know what, 6, 8, 10 videos. And in those videos, I mentioned how Rob had contracted COVID. And I was trying to take care of him. And I had felt fine up until that point. And I still felt fine when I was done filming. I got everything edited. I got everything uploaded, scheduled, ready to go. And my throat was bothering me. But that's not something unusual, especially after I'd been talking for hours, because it took me like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours to film. So I'm just doing my eyebrows, guys. And so I was like, okay, I'm all right. You know, it's just a sore throat. It's probably from talking. It almost felt like strep. You know what I mean? If you've ever had strep, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But like a mild strep. And when I woke up on Wednesday, which was the 1st, I was like, God damn it, Rob. I felt sick. I was like, I'm sick. I have to go to the doctor. And I don't think there's ever a good time to get sick, but my body picked the most inopportune time to get sick, because I literally, so that was on Wednesday. The previous Thursday, I had an infusion. So if you didn't know, I have an autoimmune disease called rheumatoid arthritis. And to treat autoimmune diseases, most people go on immune suppression therapy. Some kind of drug that suppresses your immune system. Because an autoimmune disease is basically your own body attacking what it thinks is sick, but which is actually not. So that's kind of what an autoimmune response is, if you've ever heard that. It's basically your body attacking itself, thinking that there's something wrong when there really isn't. So I've been on immune suppression therapy now since 2017. You guys know last year I had an issue with my neurologist and a diagnosis that she took away as she was retiring. And I had just gone on IVIG therapy, which is immune globulin therapy through IV. It's a blood product, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, worst opportune time to get sick. Been on immune suppression therapy since 2017. And so I had my infusion on Thursday, and then I restarted a chemo drug. So I don't have cancer, but a lot of times a chemo drug is also used to treat rheumatoid arthritis. And I had been on it in the past. That's actually what my rheumatologist started me on first. They kind of start you on the least invasive as they can. That's why a lot of times when you're diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, you're put on metformin. It's pretty standard. Basically, everybody goes on metformin before you go on anything else. I'm just priming my lids with my matte painterly paint pot. Messed up my eyebrows. I'm filming this on the 18th of March. This is the first day since February 28th that I've worn makeup. Like, I hit 39 pans last month. I ain't hit no pans the first day I've worn makeup. And I posted a reel on Instagram of my pans finally. And I was like, I miss wearing makeup, because for me, makeup, I've talked about this before, is makeup is a form of therapy for me, and meditation, etc. So, okay. So go to CVS Minute Clinic and I'm positive for COVID. I don't get Paxil. She gave me something different because she's like, you're on a lot of medication, and several of them, there's an interaction. So I didn't get Paxil, whatever it's called, Pavlov's dog. I don't know what it's called, but I didn't get that medicine. I got something different. So by this point, Rob had been on his medicine for a few days, and he was starting to feel better. We could not, we had to sleep in the same bed. Other than that, he stayed in our bedroom all day, and I stayed in my craft room and was doing other things, like trying to stay away from him, which was probably dumb because I should have known that I had also contracted it, but at the time I didn't know that I had also contracted it. So I bought this. I was doing everything on Instacart so I wouldn't have to go to the store. So I bought 6 of these and tons of NyQuil and Dayquil. I bought him a bag of suckers and some cough drops and all these sorts of things. Soup. I paid $30 for soup from Panera. It was a lot. So yeah, so I ended up getting it, and like I said, I got it at the most inopportune time, and I just felt so bad. I just felt so bad. And Rob's has been mostly in his head, and mine's literally been in my chest. So I had some congestion in my ears. I had some head congestion, and I ended up having to sleep on I can't get this off. I ended up having to sleep on a wedge. I actually had a wedge from when I had gallbladder surgery. So I had to sleep on a wedge because when I laid flat, I felt like I literally could not breathe. And I was like, nuh-uh, nope. We ain't doing this. That's for damn sure. So I went ahead and slept on a wedge. And so that was Wednesday. By Friday, Rob was feeling so much better. He felt like he was well. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, he's moving and grooving and feeling great. And then Monday night, he starts feeling bad again. And by Wednesday, I'm like, you've got to go to the doctor. What if this is, what if this is the flu now? Or what if you've got pneumonia? Or because he was coughing, you guys. It was so much coughing. It literally had, my nerves were shot. That's how much he was coughing. And I was like, you've got to go back to the doctor. So he went back to the doctor, and he got an antibiotic. She's like, yeah, you're in phase 2. Let's get you an antibiotic. So he was on an antibiotic. He was also on just regular, the Paxil or whatever. So he basically got phase 2. So he had felt much better. And then he got phase 2. And then he's been okay. I haven't felt better the whole entire time. I felt like absolute dog shit the whole entire time. My neighbors is getting a roof. One of the neighbors is getting a roof. They're mowing, even though we just got 4 inches of rain. I think I'm gonna like play with these. I may pull in some green. I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of in a pink mood. So we, neither one of us have felt great. We've eaten out more in the last 2 weeks than we have in the last 3 years because I just haven't felt like cooking. And I'd made us some soup and stuff and we'd eaten on that. And Rob's like, I'm so over soup. I was like, I know, me too. So we moved on like to other things. And then last weekend, Rob felt so much better. I felt like he was over the hump. He just took his last antibiotic the other day. So while he's still tired, he can still get up and do things. He's got a little bit of congestion left and stuff like that. But I just haven't felt better. So last weekend, this mat is actually really pretty. Last weekend, I started having some heaviness in my chest and congestion in my chest. And like I mentioned, you can kind of hear it. I do have some drainage now in my head. I think that's more sinus and the weather because our weather has been wickety whack. It's like cold as AF today. We're under a freeze warning. We just had tornadoes. We just had tornadoes on Wednesday that brought in this cold front, and now we're under a freeze warning, which is crazy that it's almost spring. We've been in meteorological spring for a month, so it's like, oh my word. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. So not last weekend, I started feeling heaviness in my chest, and I honestly thought that mine had morphed to pneumonia. And I was like, God dang it, Misty, leave it to you, again, I had already suppressed my immune system. This wasn't that much of a reach that it may be pneumonia. So I had some congestion in my chest, when I was coughing, like I wasn't coughing a whole bunch of stuff, but it wasn't like clear. It was cloudy. And I just like, oh God, this is probably pneumonia. Ugh. So that night, I think it was Saturday night, I was laying in bed and Rob had already fallen asleep and I hadn't fallen asleep yet because I'd had 2 naps that day. My chest just kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And it dawned on me, I was like, shit, this is asthma. I haven't had asthma since like 2016. So back in 2014, I was literally seeing my doctor every 2 weeks for a good, 3 months. And I finally said, am I hypochondriac? And he's like, no, every time I've seen you, there's been something wrong with you. And I was like, why am I so sick? And he's like, I don't know. Because I've been seeing him. He's been our doctor since like 2011. So I've been seeing him for several years at this point. I was like, why am I so sick? Like, what the hell is going on? And he's like, I don't know. So I can remember being sitting on the couch and Rob just looked at me because I was like, oh, it literally felt like an elephant was on my chest and I could not breathe. And I was short of breath and I was gasping and I was like, I don't know what this is, but we've got to go to the emergency room. I said, because I literally cannot breathe. So we went to the emergency room and sometimes it's like, they get you in a room and then they kind of leave you alone. The doctor will come in for 1 second and then he's like gone for a little bit. And then, so that's what happened. He came in and we're going to do some testing, take some blood, blah, 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 blah. And like, I don't know, an hour later, this guy shows up and he's like, hey, I'm here. We're going to get you, we're going to do a breathing treatment. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, we're going to do a breathing treatment. And I said, why? He said, well, because of asthma. And I said, I don't have asthma. And he's like, ma'am, you're in the middle of an asthma attack. You need a breathing treatment. And I was like, what? I'm sure he thought I'd lost my ever-loving mind, but I was like, I'm not asthmatic. I don't understand. So he gave me a breathing treatment. I want to say they sent in a rescue inhaler and like a nebulite. Like I got all of it. So I called my regular doctor, made an appointment, And I was like, okay, so I went to the emergency room and they told me I was in the middle of an asthma attack and that I have asthma. And he's like, you don't have asthma. I said, that's what they said. So he's like, well, let's do some testing. So they had this breathing thing that you breathe into that test if you have asthma. And I breathed into it and he came back in. He's like, you have asthma. And I'm like, how is that? How is this even possible? Where did this even come from? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, but you've got asthma. So I started on Advair, I think, that powder inhaler, and I did that for a while. I'm going to see what happens when I add this really light yellow. Let's see if we can get a sunset look. And so he was like, okay, he's like, you're asthmatic. And I'm like, how is this even like, I just was like, how is this possible? And he said, you may have just had it and never had an issue with it. He's like, or maybe it's, it could be possible that it's just, allergy related because you've been having a lot of sinuses and allergy issues and stuff. He wanted me to start shots for my allergies. And I said, no, thank you. It's like, let me just try Zyrtec for a while. So I had I was on it for a couple of years. I don't know that I love that, but it's not dark enough to really show a difference. I will say these mattes are really kicking up, but this is not a brand new palette. Other than that, they're blending beautifully, as you guys can see. I mean, I'm not a review channel, but like I said, I wanted to try this palette to see if I would be interested in the other ones, and I think they're going to go on my list for my birthday. So, anyway, I was laying in bed and I was like, I think this is asthma. I have not had any kind of asthma symptoms since 2016. Like, I had it for a couple of years, and then I noticed that I wasn't needing the inhaler. I wasn't using my rescue inhaler. I hadn't needed a breathing treatment. So basically it had gone away. So I'm laying in bed last weekend and I woke up the next morning and I told Rob, I was like, I honestly think I'm having asthma. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, you've got an inhaler. My inhaler has been on the counter for years. And I was like, I have no idea how old it is. It had expired in 2017. You guys, I was tempted and I told Rob, I was like, no, I was like, we're talking about my lungs. I don't need to fuck them up. So I went ahead and called on Monday and made an appointment because I told Rob, I was like, I'm not going to go to the hospital in the emergency room to sit there for 5 or 6 hours for them to give me just a breathing treatment and then me go home. And then, I'm still going to have to go and see the regular doctor. I said, if it gets to the point where I can't breathe, then maybe I will consider it. I said, but as of right now, it wasn't so severe that I felt like I needed to go to the doctor right away. By the time I got there on Thursday, I was like, okay, this is dumb. So I said, I'm pretty sure my asthma is back. I was like, I had COVID. I said, and you guys, it was almost 3 years to the day that I asked Rob to start working from home, because I asked him to start working from home because he could, number one. Number two, he took the train downtown Dallas every day, and hundreds of people, in contact with thousands of people probably every day. And I was just like, at that point, it had gotten, to the point where it was kind of serious and more people were, worried about it. And this was like the end of February 2020. And I had asked him if he could go ahead and start working from home. So this was almost 3 years to the date that, he started working from home, that we got COVID. And the kicker of it all is that we still masked. And I honestly think we got it from eating at Olive Garden, of all places. We stopped at Olive Garden because I really wanted some soup. We've been spending $70 at Olive Garden. $70 at Olive Garden. I told Rob, I was like, we're not eating at Olive Garden again. They thought they Maggiano's or something. Good Lord. So anyway, I think that's when we got it, because of course, we weren't masking when we were eating, and there were people around, so I really think that's what happened. Okay, here's the mattes. It probably looks kind of crazy. I am not disappointed with these mattes. These have blended beautifully. They're soft, they're pigmented. Again, there is some kick up, But that could be because this palette, did this palette come out in 2020 or 2021? I mean, it may be a couple years old by now. So anyway, yeah, no, I'm happy with this one. I hated the other ones, but this one's not too bad. And I love how that yellow is just a little bit of a subtleness. I need to wax my eyebrows. I need to do a lot of things. Okay, let's try the shimmers. I'm gonna use a brush. This is one of my brushes from Profusion. These brushes are actually really, really good. So I'm gonna try to pick this up on a brush. Picked up all right, let's see. It's definitely gonna have to be wet, or it's gonna have to go on a finger. Let's try a finger. The only issue is my nails are long. I decided to try, that's another thing, it's like I need to get my nails done. I decided to try the coffin shape because they had some, not testers, but like nails that were already done so you could see the color, and I loved the shape of them. I don't love these quite as much. They're tipped, so I can go back to, I was like, I don't want to shape my nail, my regular nail, just in case I don't like the shape. That is pretty. It's definitely one that needs to be wet, or it needs to go on with your finger. But it's really, really pretty. Oh, I don't have the glasses. So that's kind of what's been going on. So I saw my doctor on Thursday, and I got a new inhaler, and I got some albuterol for my nebulizer. And I've basically been hitting and the pharmacist told Rob, he's like, she can't use it at the exact same time. And he's like, you can't use it at that same time. I was like, well, I kind of already knew that, but thank you for the information. But it's helped. So I can do the rescue inhaler up to 3 times a day, and the same for the nebulizer. So I've basically been doing a breathing treatment in the morning, a breathing treatment before bed, and then using the inhaler if I feel like I need it. He was like, I don't want to put you on a steroid. He's like, you know, you're not that stopped up. He's like, you know, you're not that tight. He's like, but you definitely, you know, you're definitely tight enough that you need a breathing treatment at least. So, yeah, so that's what's been going on. This is the first, like, I've wanted to put on makeup for a couple of days now, but this is the first day that I've gone ahead and tried it, mostly because Rob went bowling, and because he hasn't bowled all month, and he needs to get back to bowling next week. He wants some practice, and I was like, you know what, I'll film a get ready with me and see if I feel up to filming some update videos. Not that anything has any not that anything has any progress, because yeah, it's been rough around here. It's been rough. COVID is dumb. I've said that every time I've talked about COVID. Like I said, Rob is basically well. He's basically well. He's back to work this week. He's still really tired. COVID tired is like a completely different tired. And I honestly, that first weekend, I honestly thought I had DKA, which is diabetic ketoacidosis. So I had that in 2018, October of 2018, and I had it from a drug interaction. If there's a side effect on the drug, I almost always get it. It's the nature of my life. Just my luck, I guess. But anyway, so I had diabetic ketoacidosis, and my body was basically shutting down to die. Like it was basically shutting down to die. I didn't realize that's what it was at that point, but I was basically shutting down to die. I couldn't eat. It had gotten to where like I just felt like I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. And then that very last day, it was a Thursday, I'll never forget it. I woke up at like 7:30. Rob had already gone to work, and I felt like the worst fatigue I'd ever felt in my life. Like I just felt like I couldn't function. So I got up, got something to drink to take my morning pills, and then I fell back asleep. And I woke up 3 or 4 hours later and did the exact same thing. And when I woke up the third time at like 2:30, I was like, Misty, you should really check your ketones. And I don't know why I thought that, of all things. But I've been doing keto and stuff, and so I have a ketone meter. And when I checked my ketones, it was high. And that is what diabetic ketoacidosis is. It's normally more type 1 people get it. And it's when your blood sugars are completely out of control and your body is secreting too many ketones. And it causes you to like go into a coma, you can die, all those sorts of things. And normally it's really hard for type 2 to get it. I'm not saying they don't, but a lot of times it's caused by medication. And I had been on Farxiga, and that was one of the side effects, is diabetic ketoacidosis. Okay, so this white is actually not white. This is a multichrome. But the issue is it's basically blending out to the same color of what was already on the lid. And I'm using the other side of the brush. So that's a bummer. It is what it is, but it's a bummer. So I honestly thought I had DKA again, because it was just this tiredness that I'd only felt that one other time. Luckily, my blood sugar was fine, and I didn't even bother taking my ketones because I was just like, this has to be tired. This has to be COVID tired. And then like day 4, I was so emotional. Like I was so emotional to the point where I posted on Facebook and asked like, does COVID make you emotional? Because I was like, I feel like I could just sit down and cry my eyes out. And a friend was like, yes, I was so emotional when I had COVID. And I was like, okay, it's good to know that it's not just me. I said, but Lord have mercy on my soul. Talk about, I mean, it was rough. It was rough. So that's kind of been my main issues with it, is that I've been so flippin' tired. I've napped every single day. Today was the first day that I went back on my methotrexate. I can never pronounce that correctly. Which is the chemo drug. And I had to cancel all of my appointments for next week. I had a mammogram, my very first mammogram scheduled. I had an OBGYN visit scheduled. I had a injection in my SI joints scheduled. And a dentist appointment. Like next week was going to be a busy flipping week, and I had to cancel it. I had to cancel everything because I'm still dealing with it. You know what I mean? And I've had it now for 18 days. Like I'm sure I had it before then and just wasn't symptomatic. And that was the thing. Rob had taken a test at home and it came back negative. And then he goes and he's like, no, it's COVID. And I was like, God dang it, Rob. Okay, so I used this matte, this shimmer. And like I said, this one just honestly blends out to look like this one. They both have that kind of orangey pink shift. So that's a bummer, but this is a pretty eye look. And I am happy enough with the mattes to feel like it wouldn't be a waste of money to get the other palettes. So that's really why I wanted to try this today. I also have I've got a couple of palettes from Cosmic Brushes. I didn't get the one that was newly released because it sold out like in seconds. But I did get the Serenity palette. And then they had a colorful palette. I have one from Fantasy Cosmetica that I need to try. I had bought one for the giveaway winner, and look like one for you, one for me. So I'm pretty okay with this eye look. Like I said, I wish that was a true white, but it's not something that is a deal breaker. So that 10 out of 10 would recommend. I like that for sure. Okay, so I'm going to be playing with some new products. Basically things that are going into projects. So I am going to be bringing in my MAC Glow Play Blush in Grand. This is new. I haven't used it at all. My goal for this is to hit pan. I don't know what project's going to go in. So we're going to give that a go. Did I bring in a new highlighter? I don't think so. I brought in a new ColourPop. ColourPop. This is Isle Bet. ISLE Bet. This is one of their Super Shock bronzers. they're having a 30% off sale. It's been really, really hard for me not to try to buy. I want to try this blush from Shop Miss A and see if I can use this as a cream bronzer. This is in the shade Demure. You can see that it's a bit too dark. This is brand new. Let's see if I can get this open. I also wanted to try my Marc Jacobs drops. I think these are called the Dewdrops. To see if I wanted to bring them into a project. Yeah, Dewdrops and Tantalize. We'll see if we can pull those in. I've got a new concealer I want to try and a new foundation. They're going to be rolling into a project later in April. So I wanted to give them a go and see what I thought. That's a lie. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this open. So yesterday, I needed something from Amazon. And Amazon had, let me zoom you out just a little bit. That work? We're still kind of close. Ooh. Now we're too far away. That'll have to do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I needed something from Amazon. I actually needed Bioderma. It was just about out of my cellar water. And so, and that's like, it was like $20, I think. And if shipped, you know, same day, if you spent $25. So I've been dying to try this NYX Bear With Me concealer. They sent me 3. They're a little dark. So I went ahead and exchanged it for a lighter color that'll hopefully be here tomorrow. Just gonna clean up. There's just a little bit of fallout, and that's just because your girl is a little heavy-handed. I may have to go inhale it too. I can barely breathe right now. So that's been my main issue, is just breathing. And doing the breathing treatment has opened my head up. It's also opened my chest up. So yeah, I am going to put this concealer on without anything underneath it. We'll see what it looks like. I'm going to try this foundation, I think. This is the one from L'Oreal. I think this is supposed to be the dupe for the cosmetics. We're going to try the Dewdrops. Got the cream products picked out. I may use, no, let's use the NARS one because it has a bronzer in it, yeah? Well, it's kind of a bronzer. So we'll use this NARS palette. So yeah, okay, I'm going to start with the concealer. Put it on the back of my hand because a big drop is a big drop. Am I going to use, let's try it first with a brush because that's normally how I apply concealer. So yeah, dealing with the breathing and the asthma has been the biggest issue, but since getting that inhaler and getting, you know, the ability to do breathing treatments again, I have felt better, like for sure. So that is helping, but I'm still not, I would say that I'm like 65% better. And I really want to be closer to like, I don't know, 85, 90. I have another infusion next month, so I feel like I really need to be better by the time that comes around. That is not a bad color. The coverage is all right. You can see that I've got some darkness coming through. Let's try it with my corrector on this eye. I'm not going anywhere, so if this looks bad, then I can just take it back off. I can just wash it. And I also like to put this on with a brush. You don't need much. I don't know much, but I know I love you, and that may be all I need to know. So we weren't able to sleep in separate beds because we had literally just bought new furniture from IKEA for my craft room. So you'll eventually get a tour. I'm hoping to film that like next week sometime. I'm waiting on just a little bit more storage stuff to put away and I should be good to go. So that's the corrector. I may have blended it out. I may have blended it out a bit too much. It's the one from Revolution. I love it. I think it's so good. I bought it back up. I think it's still for sale. I was on Revolution's website yesterday. They had 30% off and I had a couple of things in my cart and then I completely missed it. I was like, gosh darn it, Misty. Gosh darn it. Okay, let's try this with the, sorry, I guess probably can't see anything. And my poor Shop Miss A mirror. This is a pretty decent mirror, but the graphic comes out with like basically just alcohol comes off. Is there a difference? I cannot tell. I can't tell. I can't tell in person. I can't tell. This concealer's not bad though. I don't see any kind of, it's not settling. It's not dry at all. It kind of reminds me of the Tarte Creaseless, that, is it Maracuja, whatever. This, I think this color is a little deep. That might be part of the problem. That's the issue I have. It's like, sometimes I think I'm like the lightest color, but companies have gotten much better at making like the lightest color white. This is the third color. This is number 3. So I'm guessing I picked up number 2, which I don't think it's going to have the right undertone, but hopefully it works. And concealers are something that I can buy on my makeup rehab if I continue it. I'm going to say it's the 18th and I haven't bought anything this month other than Ulta had the MAC Painterly paint pot on 50% off, so I went ahead and picked up one of those. What else did I get with that? Oh, the LA Girl lip oils, because I love those. And I've tried now the NYX lip oil, which is all right. I've tried the Ulta one, which is also just all right. My favorite is the LA Girl lip oil. So this is a little beauty blender, but I also like to use the ones from Real Techniques. They're little ones under the eye. I just like them. So this color is a little deep, so I'm guessing these are off to Project Beauty Future. And then hopefully the one that comes in tomorrow will be a much better fit. It's just like one, it's literally just one shade off. I came close to picking up one of the ones from Fenty that's on sale today. Unfortunately, by the time I was going to get it, the color I wanted had already sold out. And I was just like, I'm not screwing with it. I'm not screwing with this. This is not what I want to do today. Okay, so this is the L'Oreal Serum Foundation. I'm going to put a little bit out on my palette. This is very, very warm and a little dark. So I'm going to start with a Shop Miss A sponge. Get it just a little bit wet. So as far as like sanitizing and stuff, I washed all of the brushes that I was using. Washed all of my brushes. I tossed the lip gloss and the lipstick I had been using. And today is the first day that I feel comfortable using lip products again. I still may put it on the back of my hand. I don't think I'm contagious because I haven't been running a fever. And that was one of the things he said. He's like, if you've still been feverish, he's like, then you're still symptomatic. And I haven't ran a fever. I don't even think I ran a fever. That's not true. So my normal body temperature is like, my temperature is almost always 97.6, 97.8. That's like my normal temperature. So when I'm at 99, that's 100 for most people. So I had a pretty low grade fever that first day, but I wasn't really keeping track of it after that because I was just like, why does it matter? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. And when I went to the doctor the other day, it had been 2 full weeks. So, and everything that I read said for most people, 2 weeks is just about right. So I didn't feel... And I was still masking, like we've been masking the whole entire time. That's why I think we maybe got it from Olive Garden, because that's the only place we went where we didn't wear a mask. So, I mean, and Rob's still masking. So, yeah. I mean, it's so contagious at this point that it's like, and I told Rob, I was like, thank God we got it after being vaccinated, because I honestly don't know if I would have avoided a hospital stay if I got COVID before being vaccinated. And again, it's just because of the immune suppression therapy. And Facebook reminded me of a rant I went on in 2020. It's like, why are you guys complaining about wearing a mask? Just wear a mask. It keeps us all safe. It's like, oh my word. I lost a lot of friends on Facebook in 2020. And a lot of it was just from stupidity. Like, I can't. Like, especially like the people in my hometown who are like, they're trying to control us with masks. I'm like, how the fuck is a inanimate object that's basically cloth or paper, depending on what you got, controlling you, but you're not concerned? You're not concerned about the device that you are literally typing on. So, yeah, anyway. It's a rant for a different day. This is actually not bad. It's not full coverage, but it's just enough. I used 2 little squeezefuls to do my whole head. I still got some redness peeking through, but this isn't too bad. And this is getting panned in April, so I'll weigh it and all the things before that project starts. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like, what updates do I do? Probably deck of painting. I'll probably try to film that because I can get 5 new things. That's pretty exciting. I will probably go ahead and film whatever's at the end of the month because I still have been doing skincare. I didn't do it for a couple of days, but I've been doing it every day since. So I'll still do that. I feel like I need a little brightness. Like, we need a little brightness. Is this going to be any brighter? Let's see. Yeah, that'll brighten it up just a little bit. It's a little deep. This is the ColourPop. So they're having a 30% off sale. Revolution was having a 30% off sale. I haven't purchased from either. The problem with ColourPop is nothing is in stock. Everything that I want, because it would mostly be blushes. I was really interested in these new heart blushes. That's a really pretty formula. And their Super Shock blushes are also a really pretty formula. And that's the only thing that caught my eye from the Snow White collection was the blushes. Of course, those aren't on sale. So you guys know I'm on a break from ColourPop just because of the whole Harry Potter shit. And so I haven't purchased from them in forever. Like, at least, was it last April, May, June since I purchased from them? I honestly don't remember. But if they come out with a Cinderella collection, I'm going to have to get it because I really wanted that Cinderella collection from Sigma to be good. And unfortunately for me, it just wasn't. Okay, so I'm going to try a little bit of this. Let's see. Ooh, it's kind of red, but with the native in me, red actually kind of works for me as far as a bronzer goes. This is going to be covered up with powder anyway. I think we can mix that. So let's do a little bit of the Marc Jacobs Dewdrops. I don't guess they're coming back. That's a lot. That's one pump. that on my palette too. Do a little bit of that. And with a little bit of this, and we'll see if we can blend it out. That has been the one bad thing about these stupid nails, is that they're so long. It's hard to do anything with them. So I'm just gonna dot this on my head. I'm not doing contour. Finished my e.l.f. contour. I have just the littlest sliver left. I melted it down yesterday. So just about done with that, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Because I just hit pan on that in January. But that's what happens when you use it every day. Okay, this is not blending. Blend, you motherfucker, blend. Yeah, that is not blending. I don't know which one it is. Oh no. I think this foundation gets a little dry, or it did on my skin. I didn't use a primer underneath it. So that might be why. Yeah, that just completely lifted everything underneath it. Huh. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Nothing to see here. I'm gonna keep using that. I don't know what I'm gonna do about these dewdrops. We'll have to use it with a different foundation for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and put on a little bit of this ColourPop one and see if this can help at all, really. Can you help at all? Can you help us? Obi-Wan, your only hope. I really like these kind of stippling brushes from e.l.f. for my cream products. I just kind of stamp it on and then go in with my whatever I've used for foundation and blend it out. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. Those bronzers are so good. Like, they're so good. I have the first two colors. So get shady, and then I'll bet. ISLE bet. I also like their cream bronzer in the pot. Their putty bronzers. Those are actually really pretty. That is actually where that cream contour came from. Was the putty. The first color, that kind of cool tone color. Okay, that's a lot of blending for a bronzer, Misty. Let's keep moving. Keep a move on. All right, let's try this blush. This, as I mentioned, is the MAC Glow Play Blush in Grand. Kind of a peachy pink. So pretty. Just enough of pink in it that I don't hate it. You guys know I'm not the hugest fan of orange blushes. I think I sent most of them to Alex. Here, have some blush. These Glow Play brushes are just so pretty. They really are really pretty. The formula is so pretty. They just go on, it's just like an effortless blend. You can use a brush like I'm doing. You can use them with a sponge. That's also really pretty. I'll do that on the other side for you. So I love these velour sponges from Shop Miss A. They're my favorite. But again, it's just so effortless. It really is. Beautiful color. I love it. I think we're gonna build on this though with a little bit of More is More from ColourPop to bring in that little pinky shift. Again, this is going to be under powder, so it won't be like complete, but it'll be there. I'll know it's there. That's all that matters, right? All right. So got this one, More's More. They do not make this color, but they do make sticks. And I highly recommend this formula. Not everybody likes it. I do. Uh-oh, there's Rob. He's home early. Not gone very long. Like he had just left when I started this. I'm going to go ahead and go in with some powder. Guys, use this NARS Orgasm on the Beach from last year. Really pretty. I think we'll use these two for blush and we'll try this for bronzer. Maybe with a light hand. Maybe with a light hand. Maybe not, Misty. Maybe you should pick something different. Let me just go ahead and go with my Tarte. Just go with my Tarte one. Trying to hit pan in. It's dry. Dry enough. Pretty. That's pretty. It's pretty. Okay, let's try this Orgasm on the Beach palette. And then I'm going to use this lightest shade as a highlighter. And kind of a blow stopper. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my finishing powder. For Revolution, I'm just going to put a little bit in the lid. And I want a big old powder brush for this. This is a really pretty powder, but I don't know that they make it anymore. It's very comparable to the e.l.f. Halo Glow. Maybe a little bit glowier, but not much. Just gives a really pretty sheen to the face. Okay. Time for some setting spray. The sprayer on this one is aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Let's work on the lower lash line. Do I want to bring in green? I guess we'll try the lighter of the two matte greens and see how we do. I'm going to use an angle brush. I'm going to use this mat right here. I'm just going to stamp that right there. Someone is definitely getting in your roof. Sorry, friends. Alright, I'm going to bring in a small blending brush that is still a little damp. Something like this. And I'm going to pick up that light yellow just to blend this out. Sometimes I forget that I have 2 eyes that I need to do. I want to keep this light, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in that lightest green shimmer. Like just right here in the corner. I'm going to bring a little bit of that kind of lighter pink to the bottom. Just make this connection a little bit, and it's just barely there. Like I said, my only complaint with this palette is that very lightest kind of white is not white. So it's not gonna work as an inner corner highlight, but that's okay. So this is the eye look. Let me go ahead and put on some liner. I'm just gonna line the bottom lashes with the green, and then I'm gonna do my top lashes just the waterline. And I've been really enjoying this Kohl liner Kajal. No, yeah, Supreme Kohl Kajal liner from Milani. I don't know if they make these anymore. If they do, they're good. Like, this is gonna go on the waterline. It is not coming off. And I'm only doing this to make my lash line, like, see that I have one. It just gives it a little bit more definition. Like I said, I'm gonna line the lower lash line, or my waterline, with this green. Liners from LA Girl are so good. The next time Ulta has them on sale, I'll probably pick up the rest of the colors because they're just so good. And they don't move, they don't budge. So pretty. All right, lashes, and then we're done. So I dumped all of the mascara I was wearing. Did I? Didn't I? Now I don't remember. But I bought a brand new lash primer, and I bought the Milani tubing mascara to give that a try. So I'm gonna give this this is the Maybelline Sky High primer. Oh wow, that's like glue. This is a primer? Yeah, that's pretty good. Holy crap. That's really good. That looks like I already have my own mascara. That's crazy. I mean, that primer is good. That primer is good. Like, that primer is good. Holy crap, on a cracker, that's good. If I could curl my lashes, these would be amazing, but I cannot. I can't. I was so happy when Taylor's like, I have a hard time. Oh, damn it, Misty. Hard time, god dang it. Curling my lashes because my cheekbone is so high. And I'm like, yes, exact same problem. So I'm gonna let that dry so I can just pick. Let's try out this tubing mascara on the bottom lashes and see what happens. Okay, this smudged, and my one from Tarte does not. I'm going to be a sad panda if I have to redo this eye look. Because it was looking flat. It was looking cute, it was looking flat, and then I messed it up. I hate this NYX brow mascara because the wand is so flippin' big. I do like the lift and snatch pen though. Oh, I had to throw away my Fenty cream, and that made me a sad panda. It's like, no, I really like that. I mean, this doesn't really go with the shirt, but I was planning on changing. So let's go with this shirt. Go see my paper towels. All right, let's see if we can get some volume up in here.